Welcome to Up on Game Presents. And this is Keeping Pace with Skill. And now, here again, LaVar Arrington.
Hello, everybody. You're joining LaVar Arrington, and I'm here with a dear friend of mine. We go way back, super way back. Welcome into Up on Game Presents Keeping Pace with Skill. All right, we're in Virginia, Springfield, Virginia. We're at Hard Times Cafe, and my man, Rich Kelly, we call him Kelly. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. It was a lot of years ago.
So I got to give a history lesson here. I once worked for a radio station here in the nation's capital, the DMV district, Maryland, Virginia, called 106.7 The Fan. And me and Chad Dukes, we would go and do remotes at different places, and Hard Times was one of our favorite spots to come to. And I can remember being right over there doing a live broadcast for the LaVar Arrington Show with Chad Dukes. It's super cool to be back, and super cool to see you, and just to be here and have the opportunity to talk about what we're going to talk about, how things are going. We were talking off air about, getting through the pandemic and different things like that. So first and foremost, I want to say, hey, how you doing? How have you been?
Good. We've learned to live with the pandemic. And my philosophy is we just say, what's next?
What's next?
What's next?
Okay, so in getting through and dealing with the type of hard times we've been dealing with, I'm here in collaboration and partnership with Pace-O-Matic. Pace-O-Matic does skill games. I have learned so much about the industry, what it represents, how it helps and impacts small businesses. Talk to me a little bit about having a space and a communal meeting place that so many people have used through the years. I mean, you've been here for what, 15 years?
This is our 22nd year.
It's amazing. A fixture, a pillar of the community. How important is it to have skill games in your restaurant?
Very important. The thing is about skill games is that they give local operators and small businesses another source of income. Mm-hmm. And they complement what the operators are doing in selling food, selling drinks, having pool and other operations. And it gives them another option for the customers to come in. You'll notice downstairs at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning, some of our regulars will come in and come play the skill games. Mm-hmm. You'll notice that our truck driver will take his lunch break here. He drops off for food and then sits down, and while he's eating, he goes over and spends a few minutes playing the games. And they really enjoy playing the games. Mm-hmm. During COVID, we ended up shutting down the restaurant because of the state mandates, but we turned the restaurant up front into a convenience store. Mm-hmm. And that meant that we became essential, and customers could come in and order their food. And we moved all our skill games up front, took all the furniture out, and they'd have an opportunity to come in and have a beer, order food, wait for their order, mm-hmm. play the games for a few minutes. And guess what? That helped us stay alive through COVID. Mm-hmm. Because when we went from having a 15,000 foot space full of people to having no customers, mm-hmm. the games and carryout made us survive.
The games and the carryout. If you don't have the skill games during that time, you said it helped you survive. How close does it get? How far down do you go?
Well, we wouldn't have survived.
Wouldn't have made it.
We wouldn't have made it. And if it wasn't for
a 25-year business,
wouldn't have made it.
If you did not have the skill games, would not have made it.
Would not have made it. And we have two other businesses, two other Hard Times.
Okay.
And both of them lost money. And if it wasn't for the money that we were making off the skill games here in this location, we wouldn't have made it.
Wow.
I think two things. The skill games were certainly a factor, and God bless the government for the restaurants, the PPP loans, and those things. And they survived. They made us survive, right? But the games were an immediate help,
A supplement,
and especially they supplemented common, ordinary guys and women and people like ourselves who operated small restaurants, medium restaurants, small bars. And it's all the local people. It's not somebody from Kansas or some out-of-state corporation or somebody from, overseas. It's the small local operator.
Wow. It's amazing. So, and doing all of the things that you do, because I think it's important to understand when talking about how critical it was to have the ability to supplement. We're talking about you contributing to your local church and your local church being able to create meals and put together meals for people who were in need. Just the person that you have been to this community. Talk to me about how imperative it has been in terms of for you being in this community. What happens if hard times goes away, even with supporting your local church or supporting your local schools? How impactful is that if Kelly isn't able to operate his hard times cafes?
Well, it's a large pyramid. Next month in Alexandria, our manager there will celebrate 30 years with the company.
Wow.
Right? She's been with us 30 years. Our average staff member here, 15, 18 years.
Wow.
And they all started at the bottom and they all worked their way up, right? If we weren't here, they wouldn't be here. And in this crazy economy where there's no employees around, and people keep changing, right? Having dedicated people, and it's
where
like
do they end up?
And flexible people. It's like, okay,
Right.
LaVar, you aren't going to be here today. I need you to go down to Old Town and work in Old Town for 2 days.
Right.
And you go, oh, okay.
Right.
And so they were able to do
Which
that.
I've been to the one in Old Town.
Yeah,
by
Old
the
Town.
way,
We've been
so-
there 41 years.
Yeah, I
41
like
years.
that one too.
That's a small store.
It's a smaller one,
yeah.
right.
But for us to be able to survive, that enables the entire business to survive.
Right.
And Games of Skill and Queen and Pace-O-Matic, it was another source of income. And in the state of Virginia embraced casinos and embraced sports betting and decided that they weren't keen on skill games.
Right. Why do you think that is?
I think that the casino people probably have a really good lobby.
Huh.
That would be my guess. And I'm just a dumb restaurant guy, right? So I don't know, but my guess is they probably got a
why
great...
would a dumb restaurant guy think that the casino people want a skill game? Because skill game, that's not gambling. So why would a gambling industry want to come after skill games of a small business?
Well, the gambling industry doesn't want the Moose Lodge or the local service clubs who have, the pull tabs and some of those
Providing
things and bingo.
alternatives
They don't
of,
want
entertainment.
They don't want anybody doing anything that resembles gambling.
Okay.
Because they want to have an exclusive on gambling.
Right.
And they're going to spend a lot of money, but that money all comes from out of state.
Right.
And I don't know, Maryland has that big casino on the hill over here, which is beautiful. I've never been there because it's too fancy for me, right? And, it's certainly fancy and nice, but, I like the local people who all live within a couple miles of our restaurant, who eat here, drink here, support the community, belong to the churches, right? And then those are the people that we support us, and they're the people we support.
Wow.
So it really makes a difference, and I think there's more than enough for everybody. The lottery people kept putting out information saying, oh, games of skill are gonna hurt the lottery, you know, and it really could hurt us. But then I'd read the next day that the lottery had a record year last year. Well, and I go, well, how are we going to hurt you if they're having record years? Then you go back and look, well, how about the year before? Oh,
you had a record year.
The year before was a record year. And let me see now, games of skill were here. So you know, our feeling is that look it, pay some taxes, which is what we do.
Yep.
Be part of the program.
Yep.
And support the local people.
Yeah.
I mean, small business is bigger than big business. And everybody thinks that, you know, IBM and all those big corporations, whatever, yeah, they're huge. Mm-hmm. But small business employs all the local folks.
Right.
And there's more small businesses employing local folks than anybody else. And you know what? It's like you and I out supporting our families and figuring out how to live and how to do it. And then when we run into a problem and it doesn't work out, then we try something else.
That's the American way.
And that's the American way. And we got the skill games back, and our customers are very happy. And they like to come in and play, and they like to come in and eat. And they don't just come play the games, they come eat, they come socialize, you know, and you know, we're very happy to have them back. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I hope that the state of Virginia will continue.
I'll tell you what, it's humbling after all these years to have the opportunity to come here and interview you and hear what's going on and how the kids have grown and just what you've represented to this Northern Virginia this area. Obviously, I spent so much time here, and you supported me and you supported what we were doing when I was getting started in the radio industry, and just to hear that skill games are helping and that the business it survived and it has made it through some hard times. Just very humbled to be here with you, and that's Rich. Kelly, we call him. Kelly of Hard Times Cafe. You're listening to Up on Game Presents, Keeping Up with Skill. I'm LaVar Arrington. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, subscribe. Make sure you know you're listening. Make sure you're listening, because we are telling you the stories. We're telling you what you need to hear. We're telling you what you should hear. And this one meant a lot to me. So I appreciate having the time with you.
And thank you for coming.
I appreciate you. All right, till next time.